Hey guys, it's Nick with Brain Dead, and in this video we're going to be going through Scream 3, a movie that has one, maybe two flaws at most. At most. Alright, if you're still here after that nonsense I just spouted off, thanks. I mean, it was a joke. There is plenty of dumb stuff in this movie, and as somebody who really enjoys well-crafted, expertly written movies, I also love bad movies. So yeah, I'll admit that Scream 3 isn't great, but there's a certain charm to its goofiness and lack of good writing. I mean, I've always had more fun watching this movie over like Scream 2, so I guess just take that however you will. I just enjoy Scream 3, alright? You know, we're here to recap and make jokes. We're not here to review the damn thing. So, let's just get into it. The movie opens in traffic where Cotton Weary gets a phone call from a particularly sexy voice.
So, you a big 100% Cotton fan?
Yeah, 110%.
Ooh, yeah, talk dirty to me.
What makes you think I have a girlfriend?
I know you do. I'm right outside her bathroom door.
Oh no, talk dirty to me. Ghostface 3.0 tells Cotton he's going to kill his girlfriend, so he hurries home to make sure that that doesn't happen. When he gets there, though, he's only met with accusations and the business end of a golf club. The reason for this hostility is because Ghostface tried to kill her a little bit ago and used a voice changer that sounded exactly like Cotton.
What are you talking about?
Talking about how much fun it's gonna be to rip your insides out. Now open the fucking door, Christine!
They don't even get a chance to work out these trust issues before they're both killed. Christine a stab to the back and Cotton a stab to the face. A short while later, Gail Weathers is approached by Detective Kincaid, who tells her about the murder of Cotton Weary. He gives her a photo that was left on the crime scene, and Gail reveals that it's a picture of Maureen Prescott, Sidney's mother. Speaking of Sidney, her name is Laura now, and she works for a women's crisis hotline from the safety of her home somewhere in the mountains. You see, I didn't lie in my last video. And Sidney just walks away, off to go change her name and start her new life as a hermit mountain lady. Also pushed in 9/11. Meanwhile, the cast and crew of Stab 3, a movie Cotton had a cameo in, is discussing whether to shut down production or not.
Detectives, there's no reason to presume that Cotton's death had anything to do with this movie, is there?
He was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed.
So... no? Gail shows up on set, is bum-rushed by the actress playing her in the Stab movie, and also runs into Dewey. Dewey is the set's technical advisor, making sure that the movie is as based on a true story as it can be. The next day, a Stab cast member named Sarah goes to the production lot to go over some lines with director Roman Bridger. As they're reading, Roman's voice slips into something a little more sexy.
What movie?
My movie. And it's called Sarah Gets Skewered Like a Fucking Pig.
She tries to hide in a sea of hollow ghost faces, but surprise, surprise, the actual ghost face is one of them. He chases her through the prop room and she, hilariously tries to defend herself with fake knives and such. Unfortunately for her, when she seems to have finally found a sturdy weapon, Ghostface gets the upper hand, punches her through a window, and stabs her in the back. Meanwhile, Laura gets a call from a woman in hysterics about having killed someone.
Then the people you need to call are the police.
No, I need to call you. Just you.
The stranger tells Sid to turn on the news, where she learns that production on Stab 3 has been shut down due to the murders of Cotton and Sarah. So now, with her phone number and possibly address leaked to the killer, Sidney decides to join the investigation to find out who he is. She arrives just a little bit too late though, as the previous night, the former cast of Stab 3 had their rap party, which ended in disaster. I mean, they killed Joe from Family Guy, and that is the worst thing that could have possibly happened that night.
Whoever smells the...
the worst thing. The house explosion sends everyone over the edge of the house, and when Dewey eventually finds Gale, he also finds Ghostface trying to kill Gale. Dewey fires a few rounds into the killer's chest, but he ultimately escapes under the car. A car that they find another picture of Maureen Prescott under. Holy shit. We're getting zombie Billy Loomis as the killer?
Whoever it is now taking credit for Maureen Prescott's murder.
No, they're just gonna go with a retcon instead. Okay. Speaking of retcon, Randy had a sister the whole time. Here she is. At least this gives us a taste of Randy, who's here to explain via pre-recorded message the rules of a trilogy.
1. You got a killer who's gonna be superhuman. 2. Anyone, including the main character, can die. 3. The past will come back to bite you in the ass.
Gale Weathers and fake Gale Weathers make their way into a staff-only building, only to run into none other than a Carrie Fisher look-alike.
I was up for Princess Leia. I was this close. So who gets it? The one who sleeps with George Lucas.
Princess Leia? More like Princess Leia. Aw man, they already did that joke in Zack and Miri Make a Porno. God damn it. Anyway, totally not Carrie Fisher gives them a file on one Rena Reynolds, aka Maureen Prescott. Turns out Maureen had a stage name she used to star in a bunch of John Milton movies, dun dun dun, which is significant because John Milton is, or rather was, a producer for Stab 3. Meanwhile, Sidney wanders onto the set of Stab 3 and goes up to her old room. Or, you know, the fake version of it, and hears some noises all around her that end up being a surprise Ghostface. He chases her around the set, even recreating that closet bit from the first Scream, but as always, he's bested by Sidney, who throws him from the second story of the set and escapes through the window. That's when Dewey and crew finally show up to help, and they search the set to find no one inside, making Sidney look like a total nut job. Dewey, Gale, and not Gale confront John Milton in his office about not only knowing Maureen, but also casting her in a bunch of his movies.
Nothing happened to her that she didn't invite in one way or another, no matter what she said afterward.
Fuck you, dude. Also, it's Roman's birthday, which was never mentioned until now. So he's having a party at John Milton's place with all the rest of the Stab cast. Sidney calls Dewey and tells him that she's on her way to said party, but that was just Ghostface using his voice changer thing in an attempt to get everybody in the same location. And now that everybody's in the same location, the final act can begin. Everyone splits off into small groups because they're dumb horror movie characters, and go looking for a supposedly secret screening room in the mansion.
We'll be right back!
You stupid motherfucker.
Do you realize what you've done?
While waiting for the Sidney that would never come, Dewey and Gale find the phone, costume, and voice changer of the killer, meaning the bastard is somewhere around here. They split up to look for the other two split up groups because they're dumb horror movie characters, and Gale finds Roman's dead body in a prop coffin. Just to be sure though, Gale checks his pulse and confirms that his heart is no longer beating, informing her without the possibility of a shadow of a reasonable doubt that Roman Bridger is, in fact, deader than a doornail. Then Jennifer pops out of nowhere and they find Angelina, who, after learning that the killer is in the house, takes off by herself in the other direction because they're dumb horror movie characters. Because they're dumb horror movie characters. Because they're dumb horror movie characters. I put it on a soundboard. Because they're dumb horror movie characters. She immediately runs into Ghostface, who stabs and kills her, and then the Gales watch as her body gets dragged away. They find Dewey, Ghostface finds them, and Tyson finds them. After a bit of a scuffle, Jennifer accidentally finds a hidden room, and a wounded Tyson runs off yelling for the police to help. Ghostface goes after Tyson, who delivers probably my favorite line in the movie.
Oh, you motherfucker!
motherfucker!
Unfortunately for Tyson, funny lines don't give you main character plot armor, so Ghostface kills him by breaking his neck and throwing him over the balcony. Elsewhere, Jennifer gets trapped behind a two-way soundproof mirror, and before Dewey can shoot her way out, Ghostface stabs her and leaves her for dead. Dewey and Gale then go looking for Tyson because they don't know that he's already been got by Ghostface. And as they're looking, Gale is grabbed by Ghostface and tumbles down the stairs with him, knocking him unconscious. Dewey stumbles upon Tyson's body just as Gale calls for him to help her, leading to one of my favorite shots in the film. And now, Gale being the only conscious one left, Ghostface takes them both hostage and uses them as leverage to get Sidney to the mansion.
I don't want them, I want you.
Of course, Sidney shows up, but because she's not a dumb horror movie character, she packs some heat. Sadly for her though, Ghostface is also not a dumb horror movie character, so he makes her use a metal detector on herself before he lets her come into the mansion. When she's inevitably attacked by Ghostface, she's able to get the upper hand with a second gun she had stashed in her boot. He doesn't stay down for long though, and when Sidney goes to check where he went, Detective Kincaid pops in to find Sidney and give creepy, suspicious looks. And he just found Sidney. He's not the killer though, as confirmed by the actual killer coming out of the shadows and attacking Kincaid. Sidney lures Ghostface away from everyone, leading him to a secret room she finds by luck and poor script writing. I mean, come on, there's no way anybody would just start pulling on books trying to find a hidden room in a mansion that they've never been to before. And she wasn't even a part of the whole let's find the secret screening room conversation. She has no reason to suspect fake book rooms. Anyway, he traps her in the room with him and reveals that he's none other than Roman. Gale checks his pulse and confirming her without the possibility of a shadow of a Roman Bridger is, in fact, deader than a doornail. I guess Gale just doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. Roman's motive is about as good as anyone's in this series, as borderline retconny as it is, being the fact that Maureen Prescott is also his mother, making Sidney and Roman half-siblings. The only difference is Maureen actually cared about Sidney, but didn't give two shits about Roman.
I searched for a mother too, and 4 years ago I actually tracked her down, but she had a new life and a new name. You were the only child she claimed, Sidney. She shut me out in the cold forever.
Roman then started filming Maureen having affairs, including one with Billy's father, and showed that footage to Billy, who didn't much care for Maureen sleeping with his dad. His master plan is to frame Sidney for the murders, saying that she snapped after finding out what John Milton did to her mother. Speaking of John, he's been in this cabinet the whole time, and Roman brings him out just to slit his throat and set the scene for his big frame job. As they fight it out like the sibling rivals they are, Roman really lets Sidney have it, kicking her in the face and ribs repeatedly, and also choking her out. Dewey cuts the power, and Kincaid finds his way into the secret room, only to be knocked out cold by Roman with a chair. He then takes Kincaid's gun and shoots Sidney in the gut, then finishes her off by shooting her in the heart. Just like Ghostface though, she doesn't stay down for long, getting the jump on Roman, stabbing him a couple times with an ice pick. Turns out Sidney was also wearing a bulletproof vest, one that she snagged from the police station before she left. So not even bullets could stop her. Unless he would have shot her in the head.
But what if he shot you in the face?
What if he shot me in the face?
That's a risk we were willing to take.
Sidney stabs Roman in the chest as Dewey and Gale finally get into the room, and in one of the absolute dumbest decisions ever made in film history, Roman springs back to life and charges the group, only to be taken out with a headshot from Dewey. And seriously, for all this movie does wrong, this is the one thing that just really upsets me. Don't get me wrong, I still love schlock and poor writing. It amuses me to no end, and I always still have fun with that stuff, but this is just insulting to what could have been a very bittersweet and heartfelt moment. As in, the music is soft, sweet, and kinda sad, and for a moment you really allow yourself to feel a little bit sorry for Roman, because the way his mother treated him was just so unfair and cold. He didn't deserve that. No, it doesn't excuse what he did, but in a way, he really is a tragic character. And Sidney, his sister, holds his hand as he dies, showing him some actual kindness and sympathy, something he never got from the one person who should have cared about him the most but didn't. His own mother. But we gotta have that one last scare, don't we? Headshot! Get wrecked, loser. The movie ends with Dewey proposing to Gale and Sidney leaving her gates and door opened and unlocked, signifying that Sid has finally chosen not to live her life in fear any longer. Even though that's still really dangerous, she's out in the mountains somewhere, and I'm no geographist, but I'm pretty sure there are some mountain lions and shit out there that could wander in for food or something and still cause a real problem. Just saying. And that's it for this recap. Thank you guys so much for watching. You should subscribe if you made it this far, because that means you enjoyed the content. I'm going to put more out. It all adds up. Leave a like on this video while you're at it, and show up to a live stream that takes place here on this channel every single Thursday. We play horror games and talk. It's usually a lot of fun. Also, you can follow me literally everywhere at Braindead Horror. I usually respond to DMs, and sometimes I post things on Twitter. But I do have all those other accounts as well. Thanks for hanging out. I hope to see you soon.